Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 Derry Town Council meeting.
I make a motion that we leave non-public session.
Second that.
Motion to leave non-public, Council Mills,
Yes.
Councilor Healy,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
Councilor Chase,
Yes.
Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Foote,
Yes.
and chair votes yes, motion passes.
I make a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely because it could render a proposed action ineffective.
Second that.
All right, on the motion, Councilor Mills,
Yes.
Councilor Healy,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
Councilor Chase,
Yes.
Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Foote,
Yes.
and chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Just as a reminder, if you could silence your cell phones, emergency exits are the back of the room or the side of the room there, and in an emergency, please do not take the elevators. And on that note, we'll do the pledge first. So, Councilor Flood, will you raise the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Councilor Mills,
Good evening.
Councilor Healy,
Good evening.
Councilor Webb,
Good evening.
Councilor Chase,
Good evening.
Councilor Flood,
Hello.
Councilor Foote.
Good evening.
And good evening from the chair. Is there a motion to open public forum?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The floor is yours. If you'd like to come up to speak, please state your name and address for the record.
Steve Trefethan, is it on? Steve Trefethan, 13 North Shore Road. I'm a business owner and in downtown, real estate owner in the town and a builder. Just a couple of things. First of all, welcome, Mr. Haley. I didn't get to say that. You're in my district, so it's nice to have you have another voice in my district. That's great. I brought a drawing tonight. I just want to. We had previously, the town changed along Folsom Road from a general commercial zone to an I industrial zone, an I2 zone. I was not for that. I asked the council for months not to vote it in right away. Go through some of the things, make sure it's right. It really is your job. And of course, when the resolution came out, they voted in that day, and we had quite a bit of time, well over a year, to take a look at it and look a little bit closer. So now that I've been to the engineer, there have been some issues with that zone that wasn't taken care of at planning, and of course town council would have had an opportunity to do that. So I say that more for maybe the new council people, because I think it's good to take a look if you have time to take the time to do it. One of the things that came up while I was doing some engineering on that was that anywhere there's a residential home in an I2 zone, it's a 50-foot setback. The problem with that are the lots are only 80 feet. So now you need a variance. Without the variance, you could render the lot useless. The engineer, I've tried to scale down. We originally had a 40,000-foot plan I showed the council. I tried to scale it down. Now we're doing concepts, seeing what's feasible, what's not. It has become tougher with the I2. The engineer recommended we just do industrial. We can do metal buildings. It's I2. There's no restrictions. We can do something that would be much easier to build, much cheaper, and as profitable. But I've started at the top end, and I'm working my way down. So just so you'll have an idea, most of the lots over there are about 80 feet wide. And I want to show this drawing because this is part of what we're looking at. But you'll see these lots, they're all like the same size. And based on the setback, now being 50 feet, like from here, it's a variance. If they deny the variance, which they could, I guess, maybe, then of course there'd be no building. So that property's been offline, off the tax rolls for 5 or 6 or 7 years now, about $5 million in assessed value. I was against the $5 million we gave back then to the and said okay to the state. One of the town council chairs asked. I said I would have asked what we're getting for it in Derry before we give up $5 million. That previous council, none of you all voted to give the $5 million, and we ended up with what we ended up with. So anyway, I just want to show you that because sometimes your setbacks, when you have another zone, can be different, and you can restrict building, and I think the council should ask more questions, and hopefully they will the next time. Now, having said that, I've been told to build straight industrial because it's going to be a lot more profitable to me, but we're starting here. So this is an area we own. You know there's a garage here with an auto sales. It would probably move into this building. And then this is some land, we're still working on it, whether it be with the state or wherever. If we could get a small portion of this, we might be able to do two. So that's where we're starting. But who knows, because now there's some variances involved and do the math and all that. So I just thought I'd bring that up too. When you have the time as a council, take the time before you vote a resolution on the first night when you had 1.5 years to do that. And we could have worked a lot of these things out and I would have been happy to help. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the extra time too.
Yep.
Move to close.
Good evening. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but Mr. Trefethan...
Name and address for the record, please.
What?
Name and address for the record, please. I can do it if you like.
Oh. Oh, you want to do it? No.
It's Richard Tripp, 44 Wyndham Road.
Yeah. Yes.
And 46.
And 46, yes.
46, yes. Yes. Yes, I was going through paperwork to get my fraud thing from the Registry of Deeds, and it's amazing the amount of paperwork that you can generate, having a house and having paid off the deal, the mortgage and everything, But anyhow, that's not what I want to talk about tonight. Like I said, Mr. Trefethan, he brought up something that I've observed in the few years that I've been on the zoning board. There's zoning regulations that appear to be, antiquated. There's things that change in the annual updates that impact existing code, And I believe that you guys update the zoning, once a year? Oh, you don't have to answer that, I believe. And I also believe that the planning board is the ones that actually write the code updates, which is actually probably Elizabeth, since she's a little more involved with ordinances than the zoning part are. But what I would like to recommend is that when you guys get together to start identifying what you're going to update in the ordinances, that you give me a call, because I have some ideas on changes that should be made, because like I said, there's conflicting ordinances that we on the zoning board have a hard time contending with, and I believe that it would be a better idea rather than us have to operate, on our own, that we get the town to eliminate some of these conflicting ordinances. Thank you.
Madam Chair, we're seeing none rise online.
Madam Chair, seeing no other volunteers, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, motion to close. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right. What? Say them.
The motions. 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
For
I was like,
the
what?
clerk.
Okay, yes. I don't remember now. That was a motion by Counselor Mills and seconded by Counselor Ford, correct? Okay, sorry. All right. We have a long consent agenda tonight. We have, I guess before I go into this, do we need to separate it out at all before I read the whole thing? We were all here for last time, right? Okay. Item 2649, to approve the non-public minutes from May 5th, 2026. 2650, to approve the minutes from May 5th, 2026. 2651 is to accept the resignation of Brent Liskawa from the zoning board. 2652 is resolution 2026-031, CDBG authorization for the upper room. There'll be a public hearing on this on June 2nd. 2653, resolution 2026-032, to update the housing and community development plan. There will also be a public hearing for that on June 2nd. Item 2654, Resolution 2026-033, to accept a gift of a 30-year supply of energy drinks. That's real. For the Derry Fire Department. Public hearing on June 2nd. And 2655, Resolution 2026-034, to accept a New Hampshire the Beautiful grant for recycling equipment. I'm assuming that also is a public hearing? Is on the consent agenda, so that will also have a public hearing on June 2nd. Motion to accept the consent agenda?
Motion to accept.
To do what I said? All right, so motion by Counselor Foote,
Second that.
second by Counselor Mills. On the motion, Counselor Mills,
Yes, please.
Counselor Healy,
Yes.
Counselor Webb,
Yes.
Counselor Chase,
Yes.
Counselor Flood,
Yes.
Counselor Foote.
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Under Chair's report, we are looking at June 30th for our goals workshop, so we just need to determine where we're doing that and a time. Councilor Webb, you had suggestion for looking at off-site venue previously?
Yes, it was at the Congregational Church up in East Derry. They've just done completed about a year ago, $6 million in renovations that included to the meeting room, foundation, new steeple, whole 9 yards. I think it would be pretty cool to see what they've done and have a meeting there.
It is pretty cool what they've done. I would love to. I guess big question would be, Owen, are you able to do that there? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, we're all set. We got you covered.
Okay. Are we able to look into seeing if they would be able to accommodate us there? Does that work for everybody if we were to go there?
Yeah, we can have Sheila reach out. What was the time determined?
We didn't get there yet, so what time do we want to do? 7 o'clock, kind of when we usually meet? Do we want to do earlier for that?
I think 7 o'clock is good.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, so we'll look at 7 o'clock if they could do that. Great. The only other thing is, I know there's been some movement and things happening. Councillor Foote, would you like to put on your state rep hat and update us on the HB 1469?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So May 6th, it came out of committee 5-0.
Sorry, before you do that, can you just remind us about what that bill does, so people at home know?
Yes.
Thank you. I think
House
it's an
bill.
important bill for the town to talk about.
House Bill 1469 is a human trafficking bill that originated because a lot of what we're dealing here in Derry. Bill was put forward this past year. Many stakeholders involved, federal, state, local, and it's had a few hurdles here and there, but it made it through the House on a 323-28 vote, on a roll call vote last month. It then went to the Senate. The Senate passed it 5-0 out of committee. They made 3 minor amendments, nothing that was any impact to the underlying bill. They were all inconsequential. May 14th, the full Senate passed it on consent. And I was just notified today that the House, because once it goes to the Senate and make any changes, it comes back to the House to determine what happens to it. And I was informed today that the House side has non-concurred and are opting for a committee of conference, which means that there'll be representatives from the House and representatives from the state from the Senate have to meet together and kind of hash it out and whatnot. I was told that I am going to be on the committee of conference to try to figure that out. That's all I know.
And then, so it went back to committee in the House, and then they decided to send it to?
So, yeah, so the committee chair, when it comes back to the House, the committee that it started in, that chair makes a decision whether to concur, non-concur, or do a committee conference. And it was decided non-concur, request a committee conference.
Do we know who the chair of that committee is?
Representative Leon.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions on that bill? Again, I just feel this is a bill that has hugely impacted our town, and we've made such strides to the extent we can in town, and this is a really important bill to get passed, so.
It's definitely
Hopefully it will
important.
get there.
Yeah, no, and again, the town administrator and the chief can attest how important this bill is, and what the ordinance that we have here in town that we've been establishing for the last few years. I think 2023, I think we established that. You know, still some loopholes and whatnot, but Derry has been utilized as the sounding board and the example of how they want things to operate in the state. So hopefully I have a good feeling it'll come out in a good result.
Sorry. Isn't Representative Leon a Derry rep?
Yeah, I haven't seen the amendment, so I don't know what the language change will be. So I'm not sure what it entails. But again, I have a pretty comfortable it'll come out successful.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your work on that. That was all I had. Town administrator's report.
Yes, good evening. So I have a couple of items of community interest. Monday will be the town's Memorial Day festivities. So it will start with a parade. The Memorial Day parade will stage at Hood Commons, 55 Crystal Ave at 10 a.m., and the parade will kick off at 10:30 a.m. The parade route works its way down Crystal Ave, finishing at McGregor Park, where there'll be some additional ceremonies at that location. All this information is on the town's website. I believe it's on the linked through the town's Parks and Recreation Department. I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times. Because of the America 250 anniversary, there's going to be a military flyover and also a static display of military equipment. So that's going to be enhanced from kind of the the normal parades that we've seen in past years. But many thanks to the Memorial Day Parade Committee, including VFW Post 1617 and their auxiliary, American Legion Post 9 and their auxiliary, DerryCAM and Derry Parks and Recreations for their contributions in planning this event. And I hope I didn't leave anybody out, but that's going to be on Monday, May 25th. A couple other governmental items of note. Tax collector's office, again, I mentioned this at the last meeting. Their hours will be changing effective July 6, 2026. This will also be in effect for the town clerk's office. We will be open Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 4 p.m., and we will have a 1 hour late on Wednesdays until 5 p.m. So that change will be posted with a sign outside. It'll also be on our town website. I believe it already is, and so we'll continue to talk about that in future meetings just to make sure everybody is aware of that. And then lastly, I was in contact with the tax collector. She indicates that the first half tax bills are almost done in their proofing process, and they will be distributed within the next 7 to 10 days. The due date on the first half tax bills for 2026 will be July 1st, 2026. So that'll be coming in the mail. I do want to make sure that we talk about this openly. The first tax bill in 2026 is going to be at the $18.99 rate. That's the tax rate that is determined at the end of the 2025 calendar year. So all the items that we went through the town council's budget and also through the school SB2 process is not included within this tax bill. So a new rate will be determined in October 2026. That will be reflected in the bill that is due in December 2026, and a new rate will be determined. So we as the town council will be holding to that 3.3 CPI rate. I do want to make sure that people understand that the way it works, you pay for the full value of 2026 based on that higher rate, and then you subtract out the first half tax that you paid. So in some instances, let's just say it was a $10,000 tax bill that was determined in the second half of the year. You paid $4,000 based on the old rate. You would be due to pay the remaining $6,000. So the point I'm trying to make is that the bills going from the June to the December 2026 could be vastly different, and I just want to make sure people are aware of that, not necessarily because of the town's 3.3 CPI, but you have county and school components that people should be aware of that were voted through and are in the process in the county situation. So just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out, but the tax bills will have the old rate at $18.99 for the June or July due date, and then a new rate in December. So that's all I have.
Okay, questions? Council Webb?
On the tax bill, when the final numbers are determined in October, will we put it out on the webpage and social media, including the breakdown, so people can understand even before they get the tax bills go out in December, what the tax rate would be on, let's say, the average value home in Derry?
Yep, absolutely. If you recall, last year we had a PowerPoint presentation that was done immediately after that. When the tax rate is established, it is posted immediately to the town's website. It's also available through the New Hampshire DRA. So all this information is readily available of what I'm talking about now for the current rate. When the future rate is determined, sometimes we have to wait for New Hampshire DRA to give us that final number, but when it's all put together, we do put that out, and it's picked up pretty rapidly on social media for sure.
Any other questions? All right. Next up, we have a public hearing, item 2645, resolution 2026-029, to accept a New Hampshire highway safety grant for various traffic enforcement activities. Chief Fioli.
Madam Chair, would you mind, before that, I heard that House Bill 1469 was discussed. I'd like to provide a timely and correct update to what's going on.
I think you can wait till we've gone through our business.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll
You've
I'll miss the Little League game. I'll sit in the back till we're ready.
Well, there was public forum at the start of the meeting.
Yes,
Come on
I
up.
realize I'd be part of it. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. This evening, I appear to seek authorization to apply for Highway Safety Agency grant for specific enforcement patrols, specifically DUI enforcement patrols, distracted driving patrols, pedestrian bicycle patrols, and mobilization patrols. Each year, you may recall, we do this every year, the Highway Safety Agency, New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency awards various communities certain amounts of money to perform extra patrols for these enforcement patrols. This year, they've awarded Derry for speed enforcement patrols $12,000. For DUI enforcement patrols, $1,600. For distracted driving patrols, $4,000. For pedestrian and bicycle patrols, $3,000. And for mobilization patrols, $3,700. For a total of $24,300. That amount of that grant demands a public hearing. I'm happy to answer questions now or after the public hearing. Your choice.
All right. Is there a motion to open public hearing?
I make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Second that.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Sorry, there's a motion by Councilor Webb, second by Councilor Mills. All right, public hearing is open on this topic.
Madam Chair, we're seeing none rise online.
Madam Chair, seeing no input, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Was there a second?
Yeah,
Sorry. I didn't hear. Motion by Councilor Mills, second by Councilor Healy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, questions from councilors?
Madam Chair, I move.
Oh, hold on, there's a question.
Just one quick question. You said pedestrian bicycle patrols. And, I've just noticed through town, we're seeing a lot of it may not be appropriate to this grant, but I thought of it when reading it. A lot more kids on e-bikes and e-scooters. Talking to one of these kids, I know they can get them up to almost 50 miles an hour. And Have you been seeing any issues or problems with those?
We have had complaints about the operation of various types of e-bikes and mini bikes, motorized bikes in town over the past few months. And as we get into warmer months, those complaints increase. Those types of operation would absolutely be pertinent to these patrols.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Seeing no further questions, Madam Chair, I move that the Town Council adopt Resolution 2026-029 to accept a New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency grant for various traffic enforcement activities. Whereas Section 9.15 of the Town Charter authorizes the Town Council to accept grant funding, and whereas funding is available through the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency, and whereas the town may receive funds for various traffic enforcement activities, and whereas these activities enhance the safety of the traveling public in Derry, now therefore be it resolved in council pursuant to RSA 31:95B that the town administrator is hereby authorized to apply for, accept, and expend $24,300 derived from the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency grants, and to enter into agreements with the state of New Hampshire as may be necessary to finalize receipt of this grant funding for the following: speed enforcement patrols, $12,000, which consists of 40 4-hour patrols; DUI enforcement patrols, $1,600, which is equal to 5 4-hour patrols; distracted driving patrols, $4,000, equal to 13 4-hour patrols; pedestrian bicycle patrols, $3,000, equal to 10 4-hour patrols; and finally, mobilization patrols, $3,700, equal to 12 4-hour patrols. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
I second it.
Okay, motion by Council Mills, second by Council Webb. Any further discussion? On the motion, Council Mills?
Yes.
Council Healy?
Yes.
Council Webb?
Yes.
Council Chase?
Yes.
Council Flood?
Yes.
Council Foot?
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
And the last one, just new business, Resolution 2026-019 to accept a New Hampshire Highway Safety Grant for the purchase of mobile data equipment.
Good evening once again. This agenda item, I seek authority to apply for equipment from the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency, specifically 2 rugged tablets, 2 keyboards to go along with those, and a jet printer for installation in one of our cruisers. All this equipment will go in some of our cruisers. And this equipment will make our fleet complete and whole with respect to the application of this technology, so that all of our cruisers are patrol ready to go with this technology on board. We will get 80% funding for the computers, and we get 100% funding for the pocket printer. So you can see on the staff report, if you have it in front of you, we seek to spend $7,896 on the computers, $454 on the keyboards, and $350.61 on the printer. The grant total the requested expenditure is $8,700.61. The grant will cover $7,030.61. So we have a local match, cash match, which we will take out of our already approved and appropriated funds. I'm not looking for any additional appropriations this evening, of $1,670. We do not need, because of the amount, I believe, a public hearing for this matter, so I'm happy to answer any questions and go from there.
Any questions from the council? All right. Someone like to?
Madam Chair, seeing no further questions, I move Resolution 2026-019 to accept a New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency grant for mobile data equipment. Whereas Section 9 15 of the town charter authorizes the town council to accept grant funding, and whereas funding is available through the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency, and whereas the town may receive funds for various traffic enforcement activities, and whereas these activities enhance the safety of the traveling public in Derry, now therefore be it resolved in council pursuant to RSA 31:95B that the town administrator is hereby authorized to apply for, accept, and expend $7,030.61 derived from the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency grants, and to enter into agreements with the state of New Hampshire as may be necessary to finalize receipt of this grant funding for the following: 2 GTAC A140 fully ruggeded tablets at $3,948 each for a total of $7,896. 2 GTAC rugged keyboards at $227 each for a total of $454. And 1 Brother Pocket Jet 8 printer at $350.61. Total project cost $8,700.61. This grant covers $7,030.61. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
I'll second it.
Right, motion by Counselor Mills, second by Counselor Webb. On the motion, Counselor Mills?
Yes.
Counselor Healy?
Yes.
Counselor Webb?
Yes.
Counselor Chase?
Yes.
Counselor Flood?
Yes.
Counselor Foote?
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Representative Leon, do you have anything that is different than what was stated to add to this?
I don't know, I don't know everything that was stated, but I'd just like to provide an update on where it is. I'll be very brief.
So we received an update already, so I will give you 2 minutes to give an update, but that's it, because that's what we received, was an update on the bill.
Okay, thank you. So as far as the bill goes, House Bill 1469 came out of the Senate with a few changes. However, it was not updated to ensure that a natural person would be the person operating a massage establishment if they're not licensed as a massage therapist. This leaves a very large loophole for the problem that Chief Fioli has been addressing when somebody has an LLC registered to a facility in one town and then swaps them out when when somebody comes against them. What is necessary with this is to ensure that somebody can go to prison or jail for sex trafficking if this is happening in our communities. And if we cannot ensure that a natural person is holding that license, a health and safety inspection won't do anything to hold people accountable. So I appointed Representative Foote on the conference committee to ensure that as prime sponsor, all of his intentions of the bill are brought forward. And I'm sure that his intention is that people who are doing this will go to jail if necessary. And we were going to discuss this more afterwards. We formed this conference committee today because I received it from the Senate. This will move forward. This will pass. We will ensure that we are not having the massage establishments like we have seen in this town. And this is something that will move forward and become law. I believe that had already been communicated to the stakeholders through some of the representatives who spoke with the speaker. But I will give you my personal word that I will ensure that as long as a natural person is required to open a massage establishment, this will move forward, be signed into law, and make sure that we can get rid of these terrible false businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, counselor comments. Counselor Haley?
Yeah, I just want to remind Derry residents that the filing period for state offices is June 3rd through the 12th, and before that, on Tuesday, June 2nd, is the last day for party changes before the September 8th primary. So the supervisors of the checklist will be in session from 6 to 7:30 that evening to accept any party changes. So you want to check your party affiliation. You can go to the Secretary of State's website. You can look in the lobby. There's the alpha voter list down there. Make sure you're registered how you want to be, because on election day, if you're in one party, that's the ballot that you get. A lot of people don't realize that when you declare on an election day, if you don't go to that change back table, you're in that party. So it's very important to check prior to that June 2nd date and just make sure you're affiliated the way you want to be.
Thank you. town clerk had texted me to give that update, but you did it way better than I was going to. So thank you. Councilor Webb?
On May, actually last Saturday, the Derry VFW had its Flag Day and annual award ceremony. And they selected several people to be recognized there. And the first one was Patrolman Josh Morse, who was a Police Officer of the Year. He was recognized for basically by himself having to talk down an armed and dangerous subject and resolve the situation peacefully. Firefighter Andrew Rial was recognized for his community work. Fire Department paramedic Matt Tropiano was recognized for his work in the CAS accreditation, which he presented here, as well as a program Hunger 365. And dispatcher Chuck Tinkham was also recognized for all the work he has done, particularly in moving the communication center from the old central to the news station. Jack Dormer, or Eagle Scout from the Boy Scouts of America, was recognized for his project. And there were also several Voice of Democracy winners. These are high school students who, with the VFW, they wrote award-winning essays. And they were Elizabeth Rose Ireland, Jack Gianetti, and Tiana Barton. And the VFW also recognized as Teacher of the Year, Nicole Stowers. The rest of the ceremony, unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep up with all the names, but they recognized many of their own members who have contributed to the hard work that they've been doing throughout the year in supporting veterans and organizing events such as the Flag Day ceremonies. Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so, and I was there also, but I didn't write everybody's names down. Thank you.
Right, oh no, I got one before we go. Every year I think I say this right before Memorial Day, and I just encourage people, I know that it is our first sign of summer and everybody wants to get to the cookout, but please, I just really ask people to take a moment to realize Memorial Day is about our veterans that we have lost who have defended this country, whether it's when they've defended or when they've been defending the country or after, and an hour of your time to go to a Memorial Day ceremony. We do a great job here in town. If you have a hometown you want to go to, but an hour out of your day to go honor those veterans who put their lives on the line for us before you go to your cookout would be much appreciated. Yes, Councilor Mills.
I would like to recognize and thank both Representatives Foote and Liaison for their update and their commitment to the massage parlor bill. Thank you very much for that. And seeing no further questions.
One quick thing.
Wait.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To Councilor Webb, also, the VFW this past weekend had a rock march, very well attended. I saw kids as little as, I'm guessing, maybe 4 or 5 years old, up to we had gentlemen in their 80s that were running it and walking, so it was a very good turnout. So I believe it'll be May 15th next year, so mark your calendars.
Okay, now you're on.
Seeing no further questions, Madam Chair, I'd like to move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.